Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Thursday, February 18th. There's actually just a few minutes left of February 18th here in sunny California. And ladies and gentlemen, the market is bullish and bearish simultaneously. What do I mean by that? Well, the long-term perspective is bullish. The short-term perspective is bearish. I always like to start with the long-term perspective. I like to look at things in the macro because long-term viability is always more important, always is the priority over short-term volatility. And if you keep the macro perspective, short-term volatility does not freak you out. I've said before that when I first got into this crypto game in 2017, I bought my first Bitcoin at $4,200, and 2 days later it dropped down to $3,200. And I was terrified. I mean, it freaked me out. The volatility, I felt like I had lost 25% of my investment overnight. But in fact, I hadn't lost anything. You only lose your investment if you sell it at a discounted price. But if you hold through the volatility, you'll do fine. And actually, this red candle here, that was my dip. Right here in September, first week of September, 2017, that red candle right there, that's what I freaked out about. But if I was able to just see this continuum here and see the direction everything was heading, there would have been no cause to fear. So if you're new to the crypto game, that's why I always end my videos by saying sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, walk in love every day. Don't let this stuff kill you. Don't let this stuff scare you. At the end of the day, it's just money. Okay, so don't invest more than you're able and willing to lose, and diversify, and you'll be fine. All right, so going back to the short term here, this is the daily chart. I showed you this in my last video. We've got bearish divergence here. It's just continuing here. Interesting, though, we've got higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI, which means that the momentum of the market is moving in a bearish direction. We're going to see a correction. You know, first of all, let me say that I'm not giving any financial advice here, okay? You know, somebody made a comment in my last video and said, people are literally going to lose their life savings because of the bad advice that you're giving them. I'm not giving any advice, okay? I'm not telling you anything. The fact that I see a correction coming to the market, if you lose your life savings because of that, you know, number one, don't make decisions based on what I say, okay? Who am I? What am I? I'm just a guy. I call myself cryptogenic. I don't have a background in finance. I don't have a degree in finance or anything like that. I'm just a guy who likes to draw lines on charts. Have I done some research? Yes. Do I have a little bit of experience? Yes. Do I feel strongly about the calls that I make? Yes, it's my opinion. But that's all it is my opinion. So and I just want to say for the record, I am against pulling in and out of the market, selling and then buying back and then selling. Us little guys, when we try to do that, we get wrecked in this market. And so the fact that I see a correction coming and I think everything's going to correct to some degree, I'm not selling anything in my bag and trying to buy it back at a lower level. That is playing with fire because, number one, what'll end up happening is the market will turn around quicker than you can, quicker than you think it will. And you'll be buying back at a higher rate than you sold. And I've gone through that so many times. So for me, a pullback is simply an opportunity to buy more. That being said, I'm not invested in Bitcoin. I have very little Bitcoin. I've got some, but I've got very little Bitcoin right now anyway, because I think the altcoins have a much higher value in terms of their percentage, in terms of the return on my investment. So with that being said, I'm seeing bearish divergence all over this market. Look at that. This is Bitcoin, bearish divergence. There's going to be a correction. However, the RSI is bullish. I'm sorry, the MACDs are bullish, which means that we might have one or two more pushes up. It could go up to, 55, 56. Who knows? I don't know. But I think somewhere in the mid-50s, close to $60,000. It's going to go into a correction, and it's going to be a pretty substantial correction, I think. Look at this. This is the Ethereum. Once again, bearish divergence. Higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. That's bearish divergence. So who knows how high it's going to go in this triangle before it breaks down bearish. I expect it to break down bearish, right? And then Litecoin, of course. Once again, bearish divergence, lower highs in the RSI, higher highs in the price action. We're in this channel. It's a bullish channel, but the RSI is giving us information that's saying this is actually bearish. We're moving in a bearish direction. Litecoin against BTC, you've got this ascending, broadening wedge, which is a bearish pattern. And so I expect us to break down bearish out of here. Now, it was pointed out from my video from last night, a number of people actually pointed out that I did not get to XRP, and I apologize for that. I actually had the XRP charts all fired up and ready to go, and I just never got to them. But I just want to say that the long term for XRP, and these are some of my projections for this year, is strong. But when we start going in closer, this is my longer term. Hopefully by the end of this year, actually. But when we start drilling down into this chart and look at it on the daily, once again, it's not bearish divergence, it's just bearish. I mean, we got lower highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. Both the price action and the momentum are telling us that we're moving lower, right? So we're going to probably see a pullback, and we could actually come back and test this line down here. Looking at XRP. If we come back and test this line, it'll be somewhere around 35 cents. But the cool thing is, it's still bullish. Honestly, when I say that it's short-term bearish, it doesn't mean we're going into a bear market. It simply means that there's a bearish trend within a bull market. I mean, we are in a bull market, and it's bullish. It's moving up. I mean, look. We're seeing higher lows in the price action. Even if we come back down and test this 35 cents, that's a higher low in the price action. We're still in a bullish continuum. We're still moving upward. And so, I think, once again, like this line here is the line that we could come back to test. So we're seeing it both in the weekly and in the daily that we could come back and test this line here. So, all is well. I would say, fret not, trip not. All is well. The pullback, when it comes, will simply be a great opportunity for us to accumulate more. That's all a pullback is for, is accumulation. But we need to keep that in mind because you need to understand the broader movements in the crypto space. Now, I started talking about this a couple of days ago. I did a video on the coming tsunami, and I talked about the pullback before the tsunami and going to Indonesia and how, 100,000 people were killed on January 26, 2004 in Banda Aceh, the northern tip of Sumatra in Indonesia, when that tsunami hit. And a lot of people that died chased the pullback. That is, the water receded for 2 miles, and there were all these fish flapping on the sand where the water used to be. And people were running out, grabbing fish from the sand, and the next thing they knew, a 60-foot wave moving 500 miles an hour just devastated that place, devastated the city. Here's what you need to understand about the crypto market and what actually creates the wave. Now, we've talked about FOMO, fear of missing out, and FUD. That's what drives the market, FOMO and FUD. But the question is, who creates the FOMO and the FUD? And the answer is the whales do. And right now, as we're seeing all this institutional money coming into Bitcoin, it's creating FOMO. That's the purpose. I mean, why would these entities that are buying billions of, like $1.5 billion of Bitcoin at a time, Elon Musk and Tesla, like, why are they announcing it on TV? Why are they doing press releases? Why are they announcing that February 5th meeting where all these companies are coming together to talk about how to invest all of their money in Bitcoin? It's to create FOMO. That's what's happening right now. FOMO is being created. The clear message to all of us retail investors is buy, buy, buy. You got to buy Bitcoin now, or else all of the institutional money is going to come in and it's going to hit $250,000 and you're all going to be washed away. To me, when I start hearing that, when I start hearing people, publicizing their big buys of Bitcoin on TV, to me, that just sounds like a bull trap waiting to happen. And what is a bull trap? A bull trap is when an institutional investor buys, let's say, $1.5 billion of Bitcoin down here in the 32,000 range. And then when it hits 50,000, they dump that. It's now worth, say, 2.5 billion. They dump that Bitcoin, which causes everybody to panic and think the sky is falling. And all of us little guys, us institutional investors, we start selling our Bitcoin like crazy, and then it crashes and it comes back down here into this 30,000 range. And then what do those institutional investors do? They reinvest that 2.5 billion, or that 2.5 billion that they profited, and they buy it back at 30,000. So they bought at 30,000 for 1.5 billion. They sold at 50,000 for 2.5 billion. I'm just making these numbers up. It's just a scenario. And then they bought back at 30,000 for 2.5 billion. So in that few months, they have like more than doubled, or somewhere around doubled, their Bitcoin holdings. They've made a huge profit already. And so, when they start telegraphing and saying, and this is what the whales do all the time, like this is what crashes the market. You see, I mean, if you zoom in on this red candle here that took Bitcoin all the way down, to like $3,800, I'll never forget that day, that week, that month, I mean, I was freaking out, but I watched when Bitcoin touched $10,000 in that move. I mean, it touched 10,000. And then all of a sudden, it just tanked. Zoof. It just tanked. Why? Because a couple of whales had shorted Bitcoin at $10,000 for like, I don't know, a couple thousand Bitcoin or 10,000 Bitcoin, some outlandish number. I mean, literally, they shorted the market. They wanted to crash the price so they could buy it at a lower rate. So us little guys, we got to stop, chasing the wave. We got to stop chasing the pullback. We got to stop succumbing to FOMO and FUD, And so, FUD is what they do to make sure that you don't buy it. They tell you it's going to go to zero, and then you don't buy it, and then they buy it down there, and then it starts to explode, and then FOMO kicks in, and then you start buying it, and it pushes up the price, and you're simply enriching the big guys. So what I want to do is notice the wave coming, anticipate the wave, and then ride the wave with the big guys. I'm not trying to create the wave. I'm not trying to get ahead of the wave. I'm just trying to ride it. And the way I do that is two ways. Number one, I HODL. I hold my bags. And then number two, I position trade in my trading account with my trading group on Patreon. And you can check that out if you want. I'm also going to be giving trading calls here on the channel. If you just click the join button and join the trader, join me at the trader level. I'm going to give you all of those calls here on this channel as well. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Quick update. That's what I see happening. And once again, this is not financial advice. Please do not buy or sell anything because I said so, because I'm not saying so. I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything. I'm simply telling you what I see happen. You don't agree? That's cool. I don't need you to agree. I'm just telling you what I think, telling you what I see. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, great. Have a great day. My only advice, and this is advice, it's not financial advice, but it is advice. And my only advice is this: you will live a much happier life if you make it your aim to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. And with that being said, this is Cryptogenic signing out.